Presenting your field for tonight's first race, Exactus tries first half of the daily double. Number 1 is French Bred, owned in partnership by Mark Brummel and Mitchell Jaffe. Kyle Ader up. 2 Majestic Jazz, owned by Tharps and Richardson, Randy Tharps. 3 Battling Sabre, owned by Southern Hills Stable, Brad Miller. 4 is Can Do Stable Limited's Tax Warrior and Del S. Miller. T-Tar's Magic Man is the 5. He's owned by John Adams and driven by Jamie Dunlap. 6 Profiler Mindale is owned by Ralph Brumbaugh and Scott Rudnick, Jeff out. 7 is Mickelson, owned by Andrew Franklin, Jimmy Wisman. 8 Bad Eye Baker, owned by Michael Ray West, Kane Kaufman. From the outside, post 9, it's the Calabrese Farms, Arizona Magic, Jeff Nysonger. Post time for the first in 7 minutes. Lined up in the backstretch, and there they go. They are away to a very, very even beginning. T-Tar's Magic Man, Profiler Mindale, Majestic Jazz from the inside, Arizona Magic on the extreme outside as they scramble for early command. Bad Eye Baker comes away, driving on from 5th, followed by French Bred at the pylons, gap of 2. The Battling Sabre, Tax Warrior, and Mickelson's at the tail of the field as Arizona Magic loops the field early on and kicks away by 3. Off stride was Profiler Mindale. 3 lengths back in second is Majestic Jazz, followed by French Bred, 27-2 for the first quarter as they pace in front of the grandstand for the first time. On the front end, it's Jeff Nysonger with Arizona Magic. They are carving out the fractions here, leading Majestic Jazz by a length and a quarter. T-Tar's Magic Man first up on a steady gain on the outside third. French Bred 4th, moving with live cover. Battling Sabra comes into contention 5th. 2 lengths back, Bad Eye Baker inside of Mickelson, then it's Tax Warrior, and much farther back to Profiler Mindale as they wheel by the half-mile pole. Arizona Magic is putting up the numbers, reaching the half in 56-4. Solid pace in here as Arizona Magic leads the way down the backstretch, but here comes pressure from T-Tar's Magic Man on the outside, and those two hook up with 3/8 of a mile left to travel. Majestic Jazz is locked up in the pocket third. On the outside 4th is Battling Sabra. 3 wide, Tax Warrior coming with a bid. Tax Warrior's 5th on the outside. He's only 2 lengths off the lead, followed by Mickelson in the cover flow. French Bred with nowhere to go, and Bad Eye Baker is second last to the very distant trailer, Profiler Mindale. Top 8 covered by 4.5 lengths, 126-4. Midway through the far turn, Arizona Magic holding T-Tar's Magic Man at bay, followed by Majestic Jazz in the pocket spot, soon to shake free from third. Then we get Battling Sabre and Mickelson way out wide as they bend off the turn and come down the stretch. Arizona Magic trying to go gate to wire, leads by a length and a half. Majestic Jazz under the whip is chasing in second. Battling Sabre with late kick in the center. Here comes Battling Sabre. It's Arizona Magic, Majestic Jazz, and Battling Sabre. Majestic Jazz has won it. Tight photo for second between Battling Sabre and Arizona Magic, 156-4. Back in the winner's circle, Majestic Jazz, a 4-year-old Falcon Elmhurst from St. Louis Blues by Royce, owned by the partnership of Tharps and Richardson of Ohio. Tom Tharps trains, Randy Tharps the winning driver, 156-4. 4 wins on the season for Majestic Jazz, the season's best mile. $445.80. Here's your rundown. French Bred 8th, Majestic Jazz the winner. Battling Sombra was 2nd. Tax Warrior 5th. There on the track for the second race. Exactas and tries. 1 is Meadowland Don, owned by Tammy Hoovler and Mike Metters. Jamie Dunlap drives. 2 is Home Life, owned by Richard Garola with Brad Miller. 3, Slightly Expensive, is owned by Sam Coven and Andrew Franklin. Jimmy Wisman. 4 is Rock Patrol, Ronald Fairchild owns, Kane Kaufman aboard. 5, Rain Man, is owned by Mark and Madrow, Jack Daly. Number 6, Skipper Duncan, is owned by Kenneth Kirk and Donald Frazier, Kyle Ader. 7 is Gordon Whitaker's Freeway, Hanover and Randy Tharps. And the 8 is Sociable Sam, owned by Westgate Motors with Ron Stack. Post time for the second and 7. There they go. They are off Home Life away to a fast start. Rain Man left well from the center. There goes skipper Donken from the far outside. Meadowland Don is in early contention fourth. Gap of 3, slightly expensive fifth by 2. Then we get Rock Patrol, Freeway Hanover, Sociable Sam will take a seat trailing as they move around to head stretch for the first time. On the front end, it's Rain Man leading the way. Rain Man by 1 length, but skipper Donken is on the attack early, followed by Home Life, well positioned in third, and then we get Meadowland Don in fourth. 27-1, a snappy opening quarter as they pass the stands for the first time. Rain Man taking early pressure from skipper Donken on the outside. Doesn't look like skipper Donken's going to clear as they approach the clubhouse turn. Home Life watches it from third, 2.5 back. Meadowland Don is fourth, slightly expensive is fifth, 6 lengths off the lead. Then 3 lengths back to Rock Patrol, who's 2.5 clear of Sociable Sam, who's going better than the trailer Freeway Hanover as they move half-mile pole bound. Leading the way, it's Rain Man in 55-1. Rain Man being softened up by skipper Donken, who's going the very long mile, parked a half length back on the outside second. Home Life is loving it from the pocket spot third, length and a half back. Meadowland Don with clearance to move out in fourth position. 2 more and we get Slightly Expensive inside of Rock Patrol. Then it's Sociable Sam. Freeway Hanover remains last as they head for the far turn, and looping up 3 wide, there goes Home Life to power in the lead. Rain Man and skipper Donken left in his wake, 124-2, midway around the far turn, and Home Life sprints away by 4 lengths. Meadowland Don up 3 wide, rallying into second, followed by Rain Man and a laboring skipper Donken, but it's Home Life looking strong as they straighten out and drive through the final 8th mile. Home Life leads it by 7 lengths. Meadowland Don on the outside of Rain Man, fighting it out for the place spot, but coming to the wire, it's going to be Home Life. Home Life, the easiest of winners, scores by 7 lengths. Rain Man in a game effort held second over the one Meadowland Don, 153-1. Favorite gets the job done easily. Home Life, a 5-year-old life sign from Never Home by On the Road Again. Owned by Richard Garola of LaPorte, Indiana. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Piloted to victory by Brett Miller in 153-1. Meadowland Don was third. Home Life the winner. Slightly Expensive seventh. Rock Patrol fifth. Rain Man second. Skipper Donken was fourth. Freeway Hanover eighth. And Sociable Sam was sixth. 3-1-7, 5-2-4-8-6. Third race in 14 minutes at 8:23. Exactas and tries. Scratch the 5. Bob King Cotton 6. For tonight's third race, Exacta and trifecta wagering. One is Sir Walter Raleigh, owned by Blair and Fairchild, Kane Kaufman. 2 Excitation is owned by Greg Luther, Jimmy Wisman aboard. From post 3, it's Norman Stormer, owned by Brad Bell with Jack Daly up. 4 Flaming Rocky is owned by Kevin McKinney, Del S. Miller. 5 is out. 6 Mr. Energy is owned by Paul Edwin Sweeney with Jeff Nysager. 7 is Flip Flop and Fly, owned by Linda Simpson, Jeff out. 8 Power Stoken Man is owned by Randy White, Brett Miller. And the 9 is Carolina Cam Best. Randy Owens owns in partnership with Paul Sorrell. Chip Noble drives 7 minutes. There they go. They're off. Flip, Flop, and Fly leaves quickest of all. Hustled away from the starting gate is Norman Stormer. Excitation along the inside. Now drives through, and Excitation takes the lead as they enter the far turn. Followed by Norman Stormer. Flip, Flop, and Fly will settle away just off the pace in third. Gap out 3 lengths, and we get Flaming Rocky. Followed by Mr. Energy, and then we come down to Sir Walter Raleigh. Then it's Power Stoken Man, and Carolina Cam Best trails the field early on, 27-2 for the first quarter as they parade in front of the grandstand for the first time. And Excitation is loose on the lead for Jimmy Wisman, showing it by 3 lengths. Norman Stormer is following along from second. Flip, Flop, and Fly traveling along the pylons in third. Flaming Rocky is fourth. First to pull, Sir Walter Raleigh is on the outside fifth and now flushes out Flaming Rocky. Then we come down to Mr. Energy inside of Power Stoken Man, and Carolina Cam Best content to trail to this stage. Excitation past the half in a solid 56-2. Excitation having it his own way. He calls the shots. He's in front by 3.5 lengths. Norman Stormer is the closest pursuer in second. Flaming Rocky is working his way up on the outside third. Flip, Flop, and Fly is back to fourth with no racing room. 3 wide mounting a charge. Power Stoken Man on the far outside is rallying from fifth. Sir Walter Raleigh is bottled up between horses 6. 3 wide from the back of the pack is Carolina Cam Best, and Mr. Energy is shuffled back to last. Excitation leads by 3.5 lengths, but they're coming after him, 125-1. Midway through the far turn, turn. Excitation by 3 lengths. Power Stoken Man takes dead aim in second. Gap of 5 lengths back. Carolina Cambest has made headway into third, followed by Norman Stormer and Flaming Rocky. Excitation trying to last on the lead, but Power Stoken Man is going to try to spoil it in the final 16th. Gap of 3. Carolina Cambest is third. In deep stretch, Excitation kept to his task. Power Stoken Man is not going to get there. It's Excitation for 3 straight. Power Stoken Man to go second. Carolina Cambest third. 154 and 3. Excitation keeps his streak alive in his first local start for Greg Luther, trainer John Robinson, and Jimmy Wisman, the winning driver. 3 straight victories, 154 and 3, just missing a career best mile. Excitation's a 4-year-old presidential ball from soft storm by storm damage. It's official. 2.8 exact is $60.40. Try 289, $208.20. Exactus tries and pick threes. 1 is Glenview Fritz, owned by Eddie Poling and Dan Stone. Jimmy Wisman. 2 is Willie Powell's Coach John. Kyle Aders aboard. 3 is Tucson Guy, owned by Gary Adams and Jeff Out. 4 Dockside, owned by Robert Rogan with Chip Noble. 5 KG Bird, owned by McCann, and Lane, Del S. Miller. 6 Fritzy Cam, owned by David Luff with Dean Gillespie. 7 is Honus Highlight, racing for the Casper Stable, Brett Miller, and the 8 Fun Time He Be Bad, owned by Billy Sanders with Jamie Dunlap. 7 minutes. There they go. They are off. Tucson Guy fires out of there. Fun Time He Be Bad, circling up on the far outside. Now drives out to take command. Glenview Fritz comes away in the 3rd spot, followed by Dockside parked out in 4th. Next in line, we got Honus Highlight, followed by Coach John. Then it's KG Bird in a length and a half back to the trailer Fritzy Cam, midway around the far turn the first time. And Jamie Dunlap has Fun Time He Be Bad on the engine here, leading the way by a length and a quarter. Tucson Guy now a snug 2nd. Glenview Fritz is 3rd. And Honus Highlight is on the move early on the outside, ranging up first over. 28 seconds for the opening quarter, passing the stands for the first time. Fun Time He Be Bad has been dictating the pace, but Honus Highlight is powering up on the outside, and he will look to brush to the lead as they approach the clubhouse turn. Tucson Guy remains a prominent 3rd. Glenview Fritz looks at it from 4th. Moving up on the outside, first over from 5th is Dockside. He brings KG, or rather on the outside, he brings Coach John along with him. KG Bird is now next in line, racing 3rd over, and Fritzy Cam is the back marker. 57 and 1 for the 1.5 as they round the turn into the backstretch with Honus Highlight putting up the numbers. Honus Highlight by 1 length. Now his company from Dockside on the outside. Fun Time He Be Bad is back to third. Coach John has progressed into fourth. He's only 2.5 lengths off the lead. Tucson Guy is hemmed in fifth, followed by KG Bird on the outside, sixth. Glenview Fritz is in line from seventh, and Fritzy Cam is fourth over trailing as they wheel by 3/4. It's Honus Highlight in charge, 1:25 and 3. Midway through the far turn, Honus Highlight by 1.5 lengths. Fun Time He Be Bad reclaims second as Tucson Guy begins to lose ground, and then we get on the outside, on the inside. That is Tucson Guy as they straighten out and drive for home. It's Honus Highlight leading the way by 2 lengths. Fun Time He Be Bad giving chase in second, followed by Tucson Guy, Glenview Fritz, late kick Fritzy Cam. But coming to the wire, it's Honus Highlight, home on top. Fritzy Cam from last got up for second. Tucson Guy third, 1:54 and 1. The winner's circle, Honus Highlight, 7 wins this season, 1:54 and 1. An 8-year-old Albatross stallion from Time Bow Hanover by Big Towner, all by the Casper Stable of Akron, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Brett Miller picks up another win tonight. On the track for race 5, exact AN trifecta wagering. Number 1 is Strong Mad, owned by Velocity Standard Breds, Henry and Sally Jasevchik. Mark Evers drives. 2 is Albie's Eagle, owned by Charlie Little, Jeff Out. 3, It's a Kadoozy, is owned by Glenn and Norma Hubert, Jamie Dunlap. 4 is T-Tires Terminator, owned by George Feltner with Jack Daly. 5, Norman Feeney, Leslie Lane, the owner, Kane Kaufman is up. 6, I Want to Be Rich and Famous, owned by FTF Incorporated, Brett Miller. And the 7 is I'm a Pilgrim, owned, trained, and driven by Robert Reeser. Post time, 6 minutes. There they go. They're off. It's a Kadoozy, and Albie's Eagle come away 1-2. Strong Mad is well placed in third, gap of 2 lengths back to T-Tars Terminator, followed by Norman Feeney, and then we get I Want to Be Rich and Famous, and 4 lengths back to I'm a Pilgrim. I'm a Pilgrim, at least 20 lengths off the pace that is now being set by It's a Kadoozy. It's a Kadoozy puts it in another gear and goes on by Albie's Eagle. Gap of 4 lengths farther back, and we get Strong Mad in third, then 5 more. The T-Tars Terminator, Norman Feeney, I Want to Be Rich and Famous, and a very troubled I'm a Pilgrim is at the tail end of the field off stride. 28 seconds for the opening quarter as they pass the stands for the first time, and it's a Kadoozy fronting the field. It's a Kadoozy leads by 2.5 lengths. Albie's Eagle follows along in second, 2.5 back. Strong Matt travels along in the third spot, gap of 5 lengths farther back, and we get T-Tires Terminator inside of a first over. I Want to Be Rich and Famous. Norman Feeney is second last to the very distant trailer. I'm a Pilgrim. The half goes in 57 and 1, so it's a Kadoozy setting a modest pace in here, leads the way by 1.5 lengths. Albie's Eagle is pocketed second. Strong Matt draws a closer third, followed by I Want to Be Rich and Famous at the pylons fourth. And Norman Feeney is on the outside, uncovered fifth, and 7 off the lead. Then 2.5 back to T-Tires Terminator, and much farther back to I'm a Pilgrim as they head for the far turn. It's a Kadoozy. The favorite is in control by 2 lengths. Albie's Eagle looks to take aim from the pocket spot, followed by I Want to Be Rich and Famous, who's making headway, now went off stride. Strong Matt is now third, 126 flat, moving around to the top of the stretch. It's a Kadoozy by 1.5 lengths. Albie's Eagle giving chase in second. Strong Matt is on the outside third. As they come down the stretch, It's a Kadoozy is the one to catch, shaken up now by Jamie Dunlap. He leads by 2. Albie's Eagle second. Strong Matt with late pace, but they will not get to It's a Kadoozy. It's a Kadoozy has won it. Strong Matt up for second, Albie's Eagle third. Back to the winner's circle. Second win on the season and a career best mile. 1:55 and 2. A 3-year-old Jenna's Beach Boy colt from NL Bretta by Brett Hanover, owned by Glenn and Norma Huber, trained by Jeff Miller, and driven to victory by Jamie Dunlap. Rundown, Strong Matt second, Alpe's Eagle third, It's a Gadoozy the winner, T-Tars Terminator sixth, Norman Feeney fifth. Tries when his Fun Time Big Guy owned by FTF Inc., Brett Miller. Tubolero Hanover is owned by Joe Sabranco. Jeff Fout is up. Money Connection is the 3, Stanley Crow the owner, Jimmy Wisman. 4 is Laredo Hall owned by Jones and Hunwick Farms Inc., Jeff Nysonger. 5 Powerhouse Sabras owned by Runyon, Springer and Cole, Chip Noble. 6 Cellulite is owned by Mark Yoder, Henry Beachy drives. The 7 is out. The 8 is Livestream Mindale owned by Westgate Motors with Ron Stack. And number 9, Hale Highlight, is owned by the Highlight Stable, Ridenour, Russo, and Henkel, Randy Tharps. 6 race post time in 7 minutes. And there they go. There off Powerhouse Sabra, away to a fast start. Cellulite with sharp early speed right there on the outside. And those two hook up as they enter the far turn. Money Connection comes away at the pylons in third by 3 lengths. Fun Time Big Guy is next, then 2.5 more to Bolero Hanover, followed by Laredo Hall. And then we get Livestream Mindale in 3 lengths back to Hale Highlight. Going off stride was the 3 Money Connection. And Powerhouse Sabra is in charge as they pass the opening quarter with Cellulite hot on his heels. The quarter up, 28 seconds flat, passing the stands. It's Chip Noble and Powerhouse Sabra leading the field by a length and a half. Cellulite is second by 3.5 lengths. Fun Time Big Guy sitting in from third, followed by Bolero Hanover in line from fourth. And moving up on the outside swiftly, there goes Livestream Mindale from the back of the pack, and Laredo Hall will grab that cover. So will Hale Highlight, and much farther back to Money Connection as they tighten down and race around the clubhouse turn. It is Powerhouse Sabra in command. Powerhouse Sabra by a length, now being challenged by Livestream Mindale on the outside. The half goes in 57 4/5. Cellulite is getting the perfect trip, pocketed third. Laredo Hall bursts onto the scene. He's now second over, but gapping cover slightly on the outside in fourth. Fun Time Big Guy is hemmed in fifth. Third over in sixth is Hale Highlight. Then it's a length and a half farther back to Bolero Hanover and much farther back to the breaker Money Connection as they head on to the far turn. And Powerhouse Sabra is fending off a challenge from Livestream Mindale on the outside. Cellulite continues along in the pocket spot, followed by Laredo Hall, 3 wide Hale Highlight, 1:25 4, rounding the turn into the home stretch. And it's Powerhouse Sabra trying to last for another 8 miles. Sustained rally from Livestream Mindale on the outside. Cellulite wants out of the pocket as they come down the stretch. Powerhouse Sabra under confident handling leads by a length. Cellulite is closing. Livestream Mindale is fading. It's Powerhouse Sabra home on top. Finishing second was Cellulite, then it was Livestream Mindale, 1:54 2. Powerhouse Sabra's back to the winner's circle for the partnership of Runyon, Springer, and Cole. Doug Loff, the winning trainer. Chip Noble, the winning driver. 3 wins on the season for Powerhouse Sabra. He lowers his career best mile by 1 full second. 1:54 2. A 4-year-old expensive scooter from Water Ballet by Most Happy Fella, the most confident of drives, Chip Noble and Powerhouse Sabra. Attention to your video monitors to show you the incident that caused the disqualification in tonight's 6th race. Once again, on your video monitors, the incident that caused the disqualification of number 6, Cellulite, coming up in just a moment. The incident takes place midway around the far turn. You'll see number 6, Cellulite, look to tuck into the pocket, and in doing so, impedes number 3, Money Connection, causing him to go off stride. And we'll roll it back and show it to you one more time. Back for tonight's 7th race, Exactas and Tries. One is Indy Siege, owned by Alan Voorhees and Thomas Wilker, Dean Collins. Louis Hart's the 2, owned by Connie Messler, Randy Tharps. 3, Attaboy Charlie, is owned by Chris and Carrie Beaver. Chris Beaver drives. 4, Arizona Attack, is owned by Eddie Poling and Phyllis Crosley, Jimmy Wisman. Mingo Road is the 5, owned by John Winter with Dallas Miller. Number 6, Keno Joe, owned by Harry Alltop, Kyle Ader. 7 is Knockout Sabra, owned by Southern Hills Stable, Jamie Dunlap drives. 8, Endless Endeavor, owned by Mary and John Arrow with Jeff Fowd. 9 is out. The 10 is Kyler's Mark, owned by Mark Perrin with Jack Daly. Post time in 5 minutes. There they go. They're off. Endless Endeavor flashing good early speed. Louis Hart is prominent from the inside. Attaboy Charlie backs off the pace in 3rd, followed by Arizona Attack, who lands a seat at the pylons in 4th. Parked out in 5th is Mingo Road, followed by Indy Siege. Then we get Keno Joe, who is 2 lengths clear of Kyler's Mark. Knockout Sabra is the early trailer as they move to the top of the stretch for the first time. And Endless Endeavor maintains the lead. Louis Hart is forced to drop in 2nd through a fast opening quarter of 27-1. That top pair is 3.5 lengths clear of Attaboy Charlie in the 3rd spot, followed next along the pylons by Arizona Attack in 4th. 2.5 back, Mingo Road is 5th, but 10 off the lead. Then we get Indy Siege racing inside of Keno Joe. 2 more, and Kyler's Mark picks up cover as the flow develops, and then it's 3 back to Knockout Sabra. They move around the clubhouse turn and tighten down a bit. The race is being controlled by Endless Endeavor. Jeff Fowd has him on top by just over 1 as they reach the half in 57 3/5. Louis Hart, a very snug 2nd in the pocket, followed by Arizona Attack, now in the hunt on the outside in 3rd, followed by Attaboy Charlie back to 4th. Moving along with cover on the outside, Mingo Road is 5th, Indy Siege nowhere to go in 6th, 3rd over in 7th is Kyler's Mark, followed by Keno Joe and Knockout Sabra as they head for the far turn with Endless Endeavor in command. Endless Endeavor by a length and a quarter. Louis Hart is nose to helmet in 2nd. Arizona Attack continues the grind on the outside. Mingo Road is up 3 wide, followed by Attaboy Charlie locked in 5th. 127 3 for 3/4. Midway through the far turn, it's Endless Endeavor by a length and a half. Louis Hart has been getting the perfect 2-hole trip, followed by Mingo Road. Giving way between horses as they turn down the stretch is Arizona Attack as Louis Hart pops out of the pocket to take on Endless Endeavor. It's Louis Hart going right on by Endless Endeavor and opening up late. Louis Hart in front. Endless Endeavor to go 2nd. Attaboy Charlie 3rd. 156-1. Jetline by Happy Skipper, owned by Connie Messler of Dayton, Ohio. Lamar Moody, the winning trainer, and Randy Tharps pilots Louis Hart to victory. His 5th win of the season, 156-1. 2, Doubly Done Ride, is owned by Dan Vanier. He drives. 3 is Demand Respect, owned by Mark Wright with Jeff Fowd. 4, Noble 2 is owned by Billy Sanders, Jamie Dunlap. 5, Caviar Jackson, owned by Judith Chaffee and Clarence Chaffee Jr. and Dallas Miller. 6, Johnny C is owned by Richard Bolus with Kyle Ader. 7 is Tom Tharps. He's a gambler, Randy Tharps. 8 is Punctual Sam, owned by Mirror Lake Farms, Chip Noble, and the 9 is Hogan Highlight, owned by Brown, Ridenour, Henkel, and the Highlight Stable, Brett Miller. 7 minutes. Noble 2 urged off the starting gate in close company with Doubly Done Right. The Maestro drives through along the pylons, and Demand Respect will settle away in 4th. A gap of 2 lengths farther back to Caviar Jackson in 5th. Johnny C lands a seat in 6th. Parked out in 7th is Hogan Highlight, followed by He's a Gambler, and Punctual Sam is at the tail of the field as Noble 2 is making the pace early on. Noble 2 by a length and a half, followed by the Maestro Doubly Done Right, and on the move early on the outside, there goes Demand Respect up after the lead. 27-2 for the opening quarter, passing the stands for the first time, and Demand Respect looks to work his way on past Noble 2, but Caviar Jackson is launching an attack, and he's up on the outside to challenge in the hopes of taking over. Noble 2 is quickly back to third position, followed by Johnny C, advancing now uncovered on the outside, and fourth is Caviar Jackson clears the lead. The Maestro is hemmed in fifth, second over in sixth is Hogan Highlight, followed by Doubly Done Right inside of Punctual Sam. He's a Gambler is last, the half in a solid 55-2, racing down the backstretch, and it's Caviar Jackson now commanding this field, but Johnny C is inching up on the outside second, followed by Hogan Highlight. He looks to surge up three wide as Johnny C ducks into the pocket, and Demand Respect gaps out, and there goes Hogan Highlight up to tackle the pace setter Caviar Jackson, and those two are on even terms as they go by three quarters in 1:24-2 midway around the far turn, and Caviar Jackson and Hogan Highlight are pacing as a team. A length and a half back, Johnny C is third. Punctual Sam comes to the outside. He's a Gambler, rallies three deep as the field straightens away on the outside, getting the better of Caviar Jackson. It's Hogan Highlight. Look out for Punctual Sam. He continues to close down the center. Hogan Highlight leads it. Here's Punctual Sam on the outside. Gets his revenge on these, and he gets up to score. Hogan Highlight to go second. He's a Gambler third. Punctual Sam gets up for the win this week. His sixth on the season, 1:53-4. It's a 5-year-old Nobleland Sam from Late Again Laura by race time, owned by Mirror Lake Farms of Groveport, trained by Fred Street. He was driven to victory by Chip Noble. It's 2 wins tonight for Chip Noble. Charlie Neff drives. Scoot and Bob, the 2, owned by Southern Hills Stable, Randy Tharps. 3 Jetstream Noble, owned by James Wampler, Chip Noble is up. 4 is Art by Keene, owned by William and Elizabeth Ann Keene, Chris Cicluna. 5, Playboy Sabra, owned by Charles and Christine Blank and Chip Brad Miller. Keep Mum is the 6, owned by Mark Evers and William Sherman. Mark Evers drives. 7 is Hold Art of Mine, Reed Racing owns, Dean Collins up. 8, I'm Steven, owned by Charles Brannigan with Mark Wagner. 9, Meadowland Partner, owned by Hoovler and Metters, Jamie Dunlap. The 10 horse is Kentucky Kid, owned by the partnership of Beatty, Geiler, and Zenekas. The driver is Sandy Beatty. 6 minutes. There they go. There, Scootin' Bob from the inside takes the lead, joined by Art by Keene, and on the far outside, Meadowland Partner leaves well. Will's Pocket away in the top flight, 4th, gap of 2 lengths back, and racing on the outside, 5th, it's I'm Steven, followed by Kentucky Kid, a 2-length separation to Jetstream Noble, then it's Playboy Sabra, 3 clear of Keep Mum, and This Old Art of Mine is the early trailer as they move to head stretch for the first time, and Scootin' Bob leads it. Meadowland Partner, not content to settle in, is moving up on the outside, 26-4 for the opening quarter as they pass the stands for the first time, and Scootin' Bob leads the way by a length and a half. Art by Keene along the inside second, and Meadowland Partner is out for the duration, parked uncovered on the rim. Will's Pocket along the pylons is 4th by 2. Kentucky Kid is 5th by a length and a half. Jetstream Noble is inside. I'm Steven, who has yet to see the pylons as they round the clubhouse turn. And then we get Playboy Sabra, Keep Mum, and This Old Art of Mine, the half, 55-4. Out of the turn and down the backstretch, Scootin' Bob, the Northfield Invader, is setting a solid pace as he cruises along by a length and a half. Art by Keene follows in from second. Then we get Will's Pocket in third. Kentucky Kid is hemmed in 4th. Jetstream Noble 3 wide 5th. Meadowland Partner drops out of contention, followed by Playboy Sabra, Keep Mum, and This Old Art of Mine. As they go to the far turn, they haven't touched Scootin' Bob yet. His lead is 2 lengths and Art by Keene. And Will's Pocket is now first up on the rim, 1:24-4. Moving through the far turn, it's Scootin' Bob by a length and a half. Art by Keene inside of Will's Pocket, second and third. Followed by Kentucky Kid, who tries to rally from 3 deep. As the field straightens away, they have Scootin' Scootin' Bob to catch the lead as a length and a half. Kentucky Kid is closing down the center. Art by Keene down the inside. Playboy Sabra way down the rail. They come after Scootin' Bob in deep stretch. Kentucky Kid on the outside. Kentucky Kid gets up for the win. Finishing second was Scootin' Bob. Then it was Art by Keene, 154. 10-2 exact to 58.80. Try 10-2-4, 159.60. Heading back to the winner's circle, it's Kentucky Kid pulling off the upset at 7-1. He scores a 154. That's a new lifetime best. He's a 7-year-old Kentucky spur from Alley's Thunder by Tyler B. Owned by the partnership of Beatty, Geiler, and Zanikis. Trained and driven to victory by Sandy Beatty. Tenth, Exactus tries and pick threes. One is TC Moonbeam, owned by Paul Sweeney, Jeff Out. Two Statesmanship, owned by Kevin Reed and Jeff Reed, Dean Collins. Three, Fred in Full Stride is owned by Scott Rudnick and Stephen Fobel, with Jeff Neisanger. Four is High Voltage Henry, owned by Chris Gilbert with Jamie Dunlap. Five, My Pal Mark, Dolores Wilson owns, Chip Noble drives. Six, Campus Tramper is owned by Zimmerman and Barnett, Brad Miller. And the seven is Crown Time Big Band, owned by Esther Crownover with Kyle Later up. 6 minutes. Invitational field moving through the backstretch, and there they go. They're off. Out for the lead, it's My Pal Mark in close company with Campus Tramper, and Statesmanship is showing speed from the inside. Fred in Full Stride is parked out and looking to grab a seat in fourth position, followed by TC Moonbeam fifth. High Voltage Henry takes a tuck in sixth, and trailing the field seventh is Crown Time Big Ben, and that field is covered by 15 lengths and is being led by Brett Miller and Campus Tramper as they move quarter pole bound. 26-2, passing the stands for the first time, and it's Campus Tramper. Campus Tramper is setting the pace in here, leading the way by 2.5 lengths. My Pal Mark is racing in second. Statesmanship sitting the three-hole trip, followed by Fred in Full Stride in fourth position. TC Moonbeam is hustled up to the outside and just gets in front of High Voltage Henry, who's now forced up three deep. Crown Time Big Ben is seventh and last as they round the clubhouse turn, heading for halftime. It's Campus Tramper leading the way to that station in 55 seconds flat. Campus Tramper setting a rapid pace in here. The lead is 2 lengths on My Pal Mark in second, followed by Statesmanship in third. TC Moonbeam is first over on a steady gain from fourth position, back to fifth. It's Fred in Full Stride. Second over in sixth is High Voltage Henry, and Crown Time Big Ben is trailed throughout. They've tightened down a bit. 7 lengths cover them all as they head for the far turn, and Campus Tramper remains unopposed up top. Campus Tramper by a length and a half. My Pal Mark is second. TC Moonbeam has made headway into third, but is a bit stalled now. 123-1. Moving through the far turn, it's Campus Tramper putting in a strong performance, but My Pal Mark springs the pocket on him. Statesmanship is racing in third, followed by TC Moonbeam, who drops out of contention as My Pal Mark takes over the lead from a weary Campus Tramper, followed by Statesmanship on the outside. My Pal Mark is drawing away to win it. That's 3 on the night for Chip Noble. Statesmanship second, Campus Tramper third, 151-3. My Pal Mark is back to the winner's circle. An impressive performance, 151-3 over a second off his previous lifetime best mile. He's a 5-year-old Tudor scooter from Madam board member by chairman of the board, owned by Dolores Wilson, trained by Joe Wilson. Chip Noble with 3 wins on tonight's card. My Pal Mark, the official winner of tonight's feature. 5-2 exact to 29.40. Try 5-2-6, 71.80. The late double with exactas and tries. One is out. Two is Beaumont, owned by Robert Grubaugh Jr., Randy Tharps. 3, Herschel Kiss is owned by Dan Ryan, Jack Daly. Movin' Boovin' is the 4, owned by William Carruthers, Jamie Dunlap. 5, Native Song is owned by Edwin Ellis with Jeff Nysonger. CL Peter Piper is the 6, owned by William Johnson with Tom Luther. 7 is Wild Red Reed, owned by Dan Ader. Kyle Ader's up, and the 8 is Watch Yourself. Jeff Brewer owns. Kane Kaufman drives. 6 minutes. There they go. They're off. Movin' Boovin' is sent hard. Watch Yourself left well from the far outside. And Herschel Kiss from the pylons is in the top flight as well. Gap of 3 lengths back. Wild Red Reed comes away in 4th. Beaumont is 5th by 2.5 lengths. Then it's Native Song and CL Peter Piper is last of the 7 as they move midway around the far turn. And the scramble continues as Movin' Boovin' edges clear of Herschel Kiss. But Watch Yourself is still right there on the outside. Then 3 lengths farther back. And we get Wild Red Reed and Beaumont. 27-2, a spirited opening quarter as they pass the stands for the first time. And Kane Kaufman and Watch Yourself trying to clear the lead, and they do so now as they approach the wire as Movin' Boovin' yields in 2nd. Herschel Kiss is racing in 3rd, followed by Wild Red Reed in 4th. Beaumont is in 5th position and now moving up with the cover of Wild Red Reed, and then we get Native Song and CL Peter Piper as they make their way around the clubhouse turn on their way to the half-mile pole. Watch Yourself leads the way, but now has Wild Red Reed at his flank. Halftime, 57-3. Along the pylons, Movin' Boovin' is back to 3rd in the pocket. Beaumont is 2nd over, but gapping cover on the outside 4th. He's 3.5 off the lead. Herschel Kiss hemmed in 5th. 3rd over in 6th position is Native Song, and CL Peter Piper remains last as they head down the backstretch. Wild Red Reed with the nose in front of Watch Yourself, who counters from the inside. 2 back, Movin' Boovin' is racing in 3rd. Beaumont, yet to get into gear, is stagnant on the outside, followed by Herschel Kiss, Native Song, and CL Peter Piper 3/4. 1:26-3 midway through the far turn, and Wild Red Reed can't clear the rail from a stubborn Watch Yourself, who's still right there. Movin' Boovin' comes under urging. He swings out 3 wide, followed by Beaumont as the field straightens away and they head for home. Watch Yourself full out from the inside, reclaims a narrow lead. Wild Red Reed still right there. Beaumont to the inside now has some pace. Movin' Boovin' out in the center. Wild Red Reed narrow lead. Wild Red Reed edges away. Wild Red Reed with the upper hand. He wins it by 2. Movin' Boovin' 2nd. Watch Yourself 3rd. 1:56-4. 11th race is now official. 7-4 exact at 24:40. Try 7-4-8, 61-80. Heading back to the winner's circle, it's Wild Red Reed getting up for the victory in 1:56-4. For Dan Ader, the owner-trainer, Kyle Ader is in the bike for the victory. Wild Red Reed is a 6-year-old son of Billy Dart from Kathy Barron by Barron Hanover. And final one is Pure Hellion, owned by Hushang Moment, poor Randy Tharps. 2 Old Town Buck is owned by Kenneth Wayne Turner. Chip Noble's up. 3 Freddie Spaghetti is owned by Scott Glandon, Kyle Ader. 4 Deadly Dynamite is owned by Major Harness Stables. Tom Luther drives. 5 Johnny Be Gone is owned by Vernon Byers Jr., Jeff Fowd. 6 Skips Man is owned and driven by Justin Hall. 7 Hawaiian Macho Man, owned by Linda Luff with Brad Miller. Dean Gillespie drives the 8 Chip Sabra for owner-trainer David Luff. 9 Broadmoor is owned by Frenchie Fuller, Kane Kaufman. 10 WR Little Big Man, owned by Eddie Blair, Jack Daly. Post time, 6 minutes. 12th race field lined up in behind the starting gate, and there they go. They're off. Fast start for both Johnny Be Gone and Freddie Spaghetti from the inside. And now Freddie Spaghetti glides up the pylons to take command. Johnny Be Gone will look to settle away in 2nd position, followed by Broadmoor in early contention 3rd. Gap of 2.5 lengths back. Pure Hellion at the pylons is 4th by a length and a half. And then we get WR Little Big Man, followed by Old Town Buck. Looking to tuck in his Hawaiian Macho Man. And then we get Deadly Dynamite, followed by Skips Man. And back trailing the field at the back of the pack is Chip Sabra. And going off stride there, the 9 Broadmoor. Opening quarter 28-2 as they pass the stands for the first time. It's Freddie Spaghetti making the pace for Kyle Ader. The lead is 2 lengths. Johnny Begon is pocketed second. Pure Hellion follows along at the inside in third, followed by WR, Little Big Man with the rail ride in fourth, and now Jack Daly sends him up first over as they move around the clubhouse turn. Following that move second over on the outside fifth is Hawaiian Macho Man along the pylons in sixth position as they round the turn is Old Town Buck. The half goes in 58-1. That's the top flight. Then it's a break of 4. Skips Man going better than Deadly Dynamite. 2.5 back to Chip Sabra, who is 4 clear of Broadmoor. 3/8 out as they head for the far turn, and it's Freddie Spaghetti, but here's WR Little Big Man up to engage the pace setter, and those two are stride for stride as they head for the far turn. Johnny Begon is a ground-saving third. Hawaiian Macho Man second over on the outside in fourth, and Pure Hellion looks to make his move as he tips out 3 wide, 3/4, 1:27-3, moving around to the top of the stretch. It's Freddie Spaghetti who clings to a narrow lead. WR Little Big Man right there on the outside, followed by Pure Hellion on the far outside. Hawaiian Macho Man in behind a wall of horses. Down the rail is Johnny Begon as WR Little Big Man takes a narrow lead, but here comes Pure Hellion down the center. It's Pure Hellion with the most pace. He draws away to take the nightcap. WR Little Big Man holds second over Old Town Buck and Skips Man 157-4. Cents. 7-1 late double, 65-60, 3-3 in the pick 3, 178-40.